Hello, and welcome to Gaming Blind, where I, a blind gamer, play video games and see how accessible they are to people like me. My name is Dom, and this is the third accessibility review of the series, where we will discuss and review the game Counter-Strike Global Offensive. If this is the first accessibility review you are watching, I will briefly explain how it will work. First, I will briefly give a brief description of the game. Then, I will rate the game on its blind accessibility with the special scale of 4 to 1. 4 meaning the game may not be accessible to any blind or visually impaired person. 3 would mean the game may be accessible to some visually impaired people. 2 meaning the game may be accessible to some severely visually impaired people. And 1, the game most likely is accessible to totally blind people. I will also mention what platform and screen size I played on for reference. And remember, the results come from my interpretation, so your experience may vary. After the accessibility rating, I will explain the pros and cons of the game through a blind gamer's eyes, and explain the game's accessibility settings if there are any included. So, without further ado, let's start the review. Counter-Strike Global Offensive is one of the most popular and well-known competitive first-person shooter games developed and published by Valve in 2012. In this game you play either as a terrorist or a counter-terrorist, and play matches aiming to defuse or plant bombs, release or capture hostages, and kill as many of your enemies as possible. At the end of the match, it is announced which team had won. You may play the game with other players via a local network or online with players worldwide. You can also play with bots if you choose, with a difficulty of your choice, from easy bots to expert bots. The game also offers the option to purchase various weapons, but also lets you trade, sell, and buy these and customizations online with other players. There you have the main premise of the game. Sounds pretty fun, and it must be, being the most popular of the Counter-Strike series, and by the amount of gamers and people streaming themselves on YouTube and Twitch. I thought the game was fun too myself. A couple of years ago, I enjoyed playing it from time to time, although I wasn't too good at it. Nowadays, I don't really play it at all. Why, you ask? Well, if a blind gamer was to play this, would they be able to? For your information, I played Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO, on my PC, up close on a 24-inch 1080p screen. I will rate CSGO a 4 on the blind accessibility scale. Counter-Strike Global Offensive may not be accessible to any blind or visually impaired person. I feel like this game was made completely without any blind or sight-impaired gamer in mind, and it proves when one tries playing this game. From the start, you may notice, or not notice, the menu, with minuscule text and letters, icons to the left, or is it to the right? It is completely hard to navigate. There's images all over the screen, and in no way a sight-impaired gamer will be able to navigate the menu. I bet even a first-time sighted player would not know what to do. If one somehow manages to use the magnifier from their computer within the game's menu, they can go to the settings, but, alas, will not be able to find any accessibility settings at all. When recording the footage for this video, I even found it difficult to tell where to press to start or join a game. Eventually I found a button that led me to another screen. It told me to pick something. I just picked the first option because I don't know, the text was smaller than a bloody ant. I had to choose whether I would want to play as a terrorist or a counter-terrorist before joining. I chose the latter, barely spotting the bluish image on the screen on the right, and waited for the game to load. When it does load, you can move with the W, A, S and D keys, jump with space, aim with the right mouse button, and shoot with the left one. In the hub, or base, or your starting point, you can press E to enter the shop, where one can purchase a new weapon. Some may see the outlines of certain guns and such if they try and look hard enough, but I could not read anything regarding the type of weapon I am buying, how much it costs, the specs, or pretty much anything at all. I randomly bought a few and started playing. A problem with a blind gamer playing this game is that you'd have no idea where to shoot, or who to shoot at. I most likely shot multiple times at players from my own team because I could not differentiate from the two. And if I don't shoot the wrong player, I get shot at myself and die. Again, and again, and again. This is my first 4 rated game within these blind accessibility rating episodes and the Gaming Blind series, and unless you are a skilled or an extremely patient blind gamer, I highly discourage you from buying or playing this game. If you are a game developer watching this, here is what not to do when building your game. No accessibility features whatsoever, tiny writings, a labyrinth of a menu, unacceptable. And if there is someone from Valve watching, do know that sight-impaired gamers exist. Me being here and making this video is the proof of that. So, here you are. Here is another accessibility review of the Gaming Blind series. I hope you enjoyed and I hope this helped you in some way. If you liked this video or if it did help, please leave a like so I know. You can also dislike the video if you didn't like it. Comment suggestions for other things I may have missed out or games I should review. And it would be very helpful if you shared this video with your fellow blind gamers. Thanks for watching and thanks for letting me waste your time. Bye bye.